go to statement. So we discussed about if statement, 4 forms of if statement, switch statement we discussed. Okay, conditional operator anyhow we discussed at the time of operators topic. Okay, so the next statement is go to statement. So it is used to jump unconditionally. That means in all previous statements, we are testing a condition, then we are making a jump. Like if condition is true, jump to this part. If condition is false, jump to other part. Okay, so based on conditional, we are jumping to some place in the program. But this go to is a unconditional jump, unconditional jump statement you can call. Okay, so it is used to branch or jump unconditionally from one point to another point in the program. Okay, so without any condition, testing any condition. If you just it is like ordering the program. You are ordering the program, commanding the program, go to so and so place. Directly it goes without any objection. It goes to that place. Okay, so how it can be implemented? That's why it is called unconditional branching statement. Okay, all right. So the go to requires a label. So you have to use a label because you have to tell where to go. That place has to be identified by a name, and that name is called a label here. Okay, so that's why go to requires a label in order to identify the place where the jump has to be made. Okay, so you are telling go to so and so place, but you should tell name of that place, no, in the program. Okay, so that name to identify that name, place name, we use this label. Okay, and the label is nothing but it is any valid variable name and must be followed by a colon. This is the syntax. Okay, so label must be followed by a colon. Wherever you want to jump, there you should write this label followed by a colon. Then when you say go to so and so label, directly it goes to that place where the label is present. And the label is placed immediately before the statement where the control is to be transferred. Okay, so to which statement you want to transfer the control. Okay, so before that statement you place this label, you write this label followed by colon. Okay, so that the computer jumps to that place where label is written and executes the statement following after the label. The general form of a go to statement if we look into. Okay, now see, it begins with the keyword go to. Please remember, go to is a single word. There should not be any space and it should be written in a lower case. Okay, so go to, then space, write label here. Label end with this statement with a semicolon. That means you are informing the compiler or informing the computer to go to so and so place which is given this label. Okay, so after this you have written some statements. Assume there is one statement, two statement, third statement like this. Okay, and somewhere in the program you have written this label here. This is the place where you have written the label followed by this colon. Okay, now see here, this go to label is instruction. You are instructing the computer to go to label place, and where you have written label, here I have written the label followed by colon. Okay, so after this there are some statements here, statement 1, statement 2, like this there are some statement. Okay, so what happens when you have written a piece of code like this? Okay, so what happens means when you say go to label, immediately the control goes to the place where you have written this label, directly jumps to the place where you have written this label. Okay, so that means it skips all the statements in between. It skips all the statements in between. That means all these statements in between are they are skipped and directly the control is jumping to this place where the label is written. Okay, so it comes here. Then after that there is a statement called as, and it executes this statement. Like this it goes on executing statements until it reaches end of the program. And please remember, label is not an executable statement. It is only a variable name to identify the place where the jump has to be made, where the control has to be transferred. Okay, and see here, This is called as a forward jump. This is called as a forward jump. That means you are jumping in forward direction in the program. You are jumping in the forward direction in the program. That's why it is called as a forward jump. Okay, right. We can also use a go to statement in this form, the second form. Okay, so that means first we can write the label followed by some statement. After that you have some statements here. Okay, so then you are telling to go to label. You are informing to the compiler to go to so and so label. Okay, so what happens, how this program is executed here, this kind of a statement. So first what it will do, it comes to this statement label, then it understands, oh, this is the place where label is written. Okay, so it remembers this place, then this statement is executed, then next statement, next statement, next statement, all these statements are executed, then it comes to this go to label statement. Okay, so when it encounters this go to label, immediately the control jumps back to the place where label has written here. Okay, so from here it goes back and goes to the place where label has written. Okay, so from here again it comes back, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, like this, all the statements in between again they are executed once again. Okay, again it comes to this place, go to label, again it goes back. So like this a set of statements are repeatedly executed here. Okay, so in this case what you are doing, you are jumping in backward direction. You are jumping in backward direction. That's why this is called as a backward jump. This is called as a backward jump. You can use go to statement for jumping in forward direction, or you can also use go to jump in a backward direction. In backward direction, if you jump, that means a set of statements will be repeatedly executed. Repeatedly executed. Okay, so these are the two forms of go to statement, and we use any one of these forms based on our requirement. Okay, right. So the label can be anywhere in the program, like I have shown two examples here. It can be anywhere in the program, either before or after the go to label statement. See here, go to label statement is here. So I have written after that go to label statement, that is called forward jump. First I have written the label, then I used go to label statement. Afterwards I have written. Okay, so either before or after this go to label statement, you can write this label anywhere in the program. Okay, right? Example program. Okay, so we'll write a simple example program using go to statement. What I do is directly I write an online compiler. If it is clearly visible to you, then so that we can see the execution immediately without wasting time, copying time. Open online C compiler. Okay, go to this first link. Now this is your online C compiler. Okay, so you can remove everything, all these comment statement. Okay, so here what we do is we'll write a comment, our own comment, program demonstrating go to statement. Always this go to should be written in lowercase without any space. Okay, so go to statement. To write the comment, /* followed by statement or text, then ending with the star followed by /. Okay, so you can write one more comment also here. So what for this program to find square root of a number. Okay, so I'll find out a square root of a number. Square root of a number. Okay, so for that I am writing this program here. Okay, so include the header file here. Okay, so then begin your main. Now I want to find square root of a number, so I declare a number here. Okay, so what I do is generally there is a function called as square root function. We'll use that function. Okay, so it takes double type argument. Okay, so num will take. Okay, so then s is nothing but the square root value. We'll take s here. Okay, so then we ask the user to enter a number. Say enter a number. Okay, so slash n, then read the number using scanf function. Okay, so because he is entering through keyboard, and here why I use double means you need to know how to read a double data type through keyboard. So by using which format specifier? %lf, %lf comma address of num, catch that variable in the value in the variable called as a num. Okay, so what we do is we'll try to find a square root of that one. Okay, so for that we have a predefined function called as sqrt, and you give num to that sqrt function. Okay, so it calculates square root and it returns that square root value, so that you have to catch in a variable. So I am catching in variable s here. S is equal to square root of num. So it calculates this square root, calculates square root of this num and returns that value. So you store that value in a variable called as a s. So if you print s, then that prints square root here. Okay, so square root of percentage lf is percentage lf, both are double type, no? Okay, so square root of percentage lf is percentage lf. So what is the first percentage lf? Num. Square root of num is so and so. And what is second percentage lf value? Yes, it should take from yes. Okay, right? Now this is how square root, and when we ask the user to enter a number, generally square root can be calculated only for positive numbers. Only for a positive number. Suddenly if user enters a negative number, then your square root function cannot calculate square root of a negative number. Okay, so that you should handle in the program. That means what we do is we test whether user has entered a negative number or not. Okay, so how to test that? By using if statement. If, how will know that he has entered a negative number? Can anyone how we can test that user has entered a negative number? Okay, so the number entered from the user we are storing in a num here. Okay, so now you check here. If num less than 0, if num less than 0, that indicates that he has entered a negative number. Okay, so if num less than 0, that means he entered a negative number. For negative number we cannot calculate a square root here. Okay, so what I do is I ask the user to enter again one more number. I ask the user to enter one more number. That means again I have to go back to this printf statement. Okay, so here if this is true, then I am using this go to here. Okay, so go to something like begin. I am telling to go to a place where this label begin is present. Okay, so where to go? That means again we should ask the user to enter a number. That means control should come to this printf statement. Okay, so we said in the explanation that write this label before the statement where you want to transfer the control. Okay, so I want to transfer the control to this printf statement. Okay, so before this printf statement you write the label. What is the label name we have used here? this begin is the label name. You can use any name, x comma y comma anything you can use here, any variable name. So I am using the label here begin followed by colon. Where you write this variable, there you must write the colon here. Okay, so that means this is the beginning of the label here. Okay, so this is the place where label is defined. That is the meaning here. Now see here what happens. Enter a number. -5 I entered. I am storing in a num here. Okay, so then if num less than 0, yes, true. Then go to begin. What happens? Again it comes back. Where is the begin? It comes to this place here. So again it goes to the next statement. Again it asks the user to enter a number. Okay, so this time you entered something like 4 you entered. Okay, so then again it checks here num less than 0. Please remember, so we are using simple if statement. If the condition is true, then the next statement, this is the only statement associated with this if, this will be executed. If the condition is false, this is not executed. So it directly jumps to the next statement. Okay, so this is the next statement that is executed here. If this is false, then only it comes to this statement. Okay, so here you entered 4 here, 4 less than 0, false. Then it won't go to this statement. Directly it leaves that if statement and control comes here. Then the square root function calculates square root of 4 and that will be stored in a yes. Then it goes to the next statement. It prints square root of 4 is 2.00. It prints. Then return 0. Your program ends. That's it. Okay, so this is how we can use go to here. Please remember here, go to begin. When you say go to begin, this should end with semicolon. This is the instruction. This is the instruction you are giving to the computer. Okay, so it should end with a semicolon here. But the place where you define this label, that must be followed by colon here. This is the definition of the label here. Okay, so then at that place you should use colon here. Okay. Right. So if I execute this program, let us see. Now I am getting a warning here. Why warning? Because square root is a function I am using in my program. You can see here warning also. Incompatible implicit declaration of built-in function square root. Okay. So include math.h. It is also telling include math.h. Where is the definition of this square root function? In a header file called as math.h. So that's why you need to include. That's why you need to include. So here it is already given. So since it is a warning, it includes automatically. Okay, but to remove this warning also, we should include the header file here. Okay, so I am including that header file hash include math.h. All mathematical functions definitions will be present in the header file math.h. You should include that. Like stdio.h we have included. Why we have included stdio.h? Because the printf scanf functions definitions are present in this header file. Their programs are present in this header file. That's why we need to include this stdio.h. Similarly, we are using a function called as square root function. Okay, so this function program is contained in a math.h header file. That's why we need to include this math.h header file here. Okay, so now I run this program. Now you can see without any warning, it asking you to enter a number. Okay, so now you enter a number. For example, 25 I enter. Now you can see square root of 25.00 because it is double type. It prints 25.00 is 5.00. You can even for real numbers, it also calculates the square root value. Okay, so you can enter any real number also, floating point number. Okay, say for example 6.5 you enter. Okay, so then for that the square root value is 2.549510, like this it calculates. Okay, so what is happening here you should understand. Now I run the program, enter a number. For example, -25 or -16 you entered. So what happens, we'll see here. Now it is asking enter a number. What is happening in the program? Okay, so that you should understand. Now see here, first time enter a number, minus 16 you enter, that is stored in a num. Okay, so then it comes to next statement. If num less than 16, yes, true, go to begin. So from here directly the control jumps back to this place, begin. Okay, so it comes here, begin. So then automatically it goes to the next statement, printf statement. Again it executes this printf statements. That's why you can see enter number. One more time it is asking. Okay, so that means what we are doing here, if a user enters a negative number, okay, so we'll ask him to enter a positive number. Until he enters a positive number, it goes on asking. Say for example minus 4 you entered. Now again it asks. Okay, so it won't leave you until you enter a positive number. Okay, so this time if I enter, say for example plus 16, now you can see then it finds the square root and returns. That means what happens, num contains 16, 16 less than 0, false. Then it won't go to this statement, directly it comes to this statement. I told when there is only one statement to be executed, no need of writing if statement like this. People generally use even for single statement they write like this. This is beginning of if and this is end of if statement. Okay, so num less than 0. If the condition is true, then it executes this statement. If this condition is false, it comes out from this if statement and this is the statement to be executed. Okay, so but by default computer understands that the next statement belongs to if statement. Okay, so that's why when there is only one statement, no need of writing these braces here. Okay, so it is a good programming practice. Like this you can write. Otherwise what happens, the memory required to store your program will be more if you use unnecessary symbols. The length of your program increases. No, when your program length increases, the amount of memory required to store that program also requires more memory. Okay, so all these things you should keep in mind being a computer science student, and you should write efficient code. Okay, is it okay? Fine, understood. So I'll copy this code. Here we are copying all the programs. No, okay, so this is oval or consonant program. Okay, so now I copy this here. What happened? Copy. Now see here. Okay, so the program is copied here. Now this is how it looks like. Okay, so enter a number, begin I have written here. Okay, the label I have written here. This is the label. And if num less than 0, we are saying go to begin. Okay, where we have written begin and here. So it comes here, and again the next printf statement will be executed. That means it asks the user to enter a number. Okay, otherwise it comes to this square root function, calculates and returns that square root. This is simple go to function. Okay, now you tell me whether it is forward jump or backward jump. Is it a forward jump or backward jump? Yes, no answer. Five 11 incorrect. What is incorrect? Yeah, backward jump. Okay, good. Okay, so backward jump, right? So even though we are jumping backwards and repeating a set of statements here, first time it is executed these statements. Okay, so again if we enter a negative number, again it goes back, again this it repeatedly executes this statement. Second time it executes. Okay, once the condition is false, then you will come to this statement. You are not going back again. Okay, so this is how you can implement a backward jump, forward jump in our program, right? Yeah, what is your doubt here? Who is that? Good, everyone given correct answer. Yeah, incorrect on screen. Which is incorrect you want to show? Which one is incorrect you want to show on the screen? File 11. Shall I unmute you? Raise your hand. Right. Okay. So yeah, you can speak now.
Hello sir, good morning. Good afternoon sir.
Good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. చెప్పండి.
సార్ అక్కడ ఇన్కరెక్ట్ అని చూపించాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి సార్ అక్కడ? అంటే ఎంటర్ ఏ నెంబర్ బదులు అంటే ఇప్పుడు నెగటివ్ కొడితే ఇన్కరెక్ట్ అని.
ఇన్కరెక్ట్ అనేది యూ హావ్ ఎంటర్డ్ ఇన్వాలిడ్ ఇన్పుట్ అనేది చూపించాలంటేనా? ఓకే, రైట్. సో ఇన్ సచ్ కేస్ వాట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు డూ ఈస్ యూ షుడ్ మోడిఫై యువర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లైక్ దిస్. Okay, so I'll explain in the white screen so that it will be clear to you. Okay, so if the num less than 0, you want to tell him that you have entered a wrong output or negative number. Okay, so and you don't want again to go back. You want to go back or just invalid input and chupichi come, you want to come out?
Invalid and chupichi come out.
You don't want to calculate again. You should not. You don't want to ask the user to enter again a number. So in such case, you cannot use go to here. Okay, so just you can print a statement invalid input and you can just come out. After that, your program ends automatically. Okay, so here I am using go to only to show you how go to can be used in the program so that you can go back again. You ask the user to enter a number here. Okay, so you can do like this. Now you want to execute one more statement. Okay, so in such case, two statements you want to execute now. You should write a open brace here and you can write a printf statement like this. Printf, you can write like this. Okay, so you can just print a message here, invalid input, then just give new line here, close. Okay, so then go to begin. You are informing the user that you entered invalid input and again you are going your program going back again asking the user to enter a number again. Okay, so this statement you can include so that your program gives the information to the user, again ask the user to enter a number. Okay.
Okay sir.
Right, so this I'll copy here. Now see, copy here. Now see here, if the condition is true, if he enters a negative number, the two statements you want to execute. That's why you must place these two statements. When there is more than one statement to be executed, you must write as a block. This is called as a block of statements. This is called as block of statement. That means from here to here, this is called block of statements. More than one are there, you should write as a block of statement. That means if the condition is true, you are telling that you execute all the statements, even 100 statements you can write here and all the 100 statements will be executed if you write as a block. Okay, so I will tell you what happens if we miss this. In our mind, we have to execute these two statements. Okay, we have in mind that the program should execute these two statements, but we missed this open brace, close brace. What happens? We'll also see that one. I'll tell you. Okay, so these points are important. Now let us just execute this. Okay, double quotes I missed. No? Valid input. Okay, right. So now I run here. Now we'll see. Enter a number. Okay, so -4 if I enter. Now you can see invalid input. Again, it is asking enter a number. That means it prints this statement, invalid input. Again, it goes to this go to statement. Go to begin means again control goes back, comes here. So again, it is asking enter a number. So this time, if you enter some positive number, then it prints square root here. Okay, clear? Right. Now what happens if we miss this? Computer, please remember, computer don't assumes by itself. Okay, computer don't assume anything by itself. Okay, so there are some rules predefined. As per those rules, the computer executes here. Okay, now even if you write like this, the meaning of this is how the computer understands. If the condition is true, now this is the only statement to be executed. This is the only statement to be executed. That means the next statement is belonging to this if statement. That's how the computer understands. If the condition is false, then only it goes to this statement, go to begin. Okay. If the condition is true, then this is the statement executed. Then automatically it goes to the next statement. It comes here. Okay. So it goes back. It goes back. So what happens in this program now? See here. Now enter a number. For example, -5 you entered. Now see invalid input, then invalid input. That means -5 less than 0. Yes. Now this is the statement to be executed. So it executes this invalid input. Go to begin means again it comes back. Okay. So you can ask in previous case also it did same thing. No. What is the difference, sir? You can ask. Okay. Okay. Now the difference lies when you enter a positive number here. So for example, I am entering a positive number. Now see here what is happening. Again, it is asking enter a number. Okay, so that means what is happening here? Now you entered 4. No, num contains 4. Okay, now see here 4 less than 0, false. Okay, so when it is false, this is the next statement to be executed. That means it won't go to this printf. Printf belonging to if now. Okay, so it leaves this and this is the next statement to be executed. So go to begin, it goes back and executes, goes to this begin and executes this one. Okay, so it repeatedly whatever number you enter, it never gives output. So it goes back again. Every time it goes back. If you enter a positive number, it won't come to this statement here. That means even if you enter a negative number, it prints invalid input and goes back. If you enter a positive number, just see here, there is no invalid input, it is printing. Okay, so that means this is skipped here and it is going to go to begin means it goes back and enter a number, it is displaying. Okay, so that means your program never ends here. Okay, so this is the problem. That's why you need to stop the execution. Hope understood. Okay, so two statements we want to execute. That's why better you include it as a block. Okay, right. So next, what we do is we look at iterative statement. So this is story about conditional statement. Okay, so next we'll look at iterative statements. Now see iterative statements. Control statements, two types we said. One is